Howdy there, my name's Luno, and today I am going to be, uh, we are going to be building a path in my world while we talk about some cool stuff. I already posted a world tour video that got um, better feedback, or not feedback, but like more reception than I thought it would. Within the first few hours, I had 40 views, which my channel's been pretty dead. I only posted a few times, and I've never really got back to posting. So it kind of surprised me. Um, I was very just happy to see that people were watching the video, and a couple people liked it. So I'm going to continue doing this, but today we are going to kind of do a new kind of video where I'm just going to talk while I play about some thoughts I had. So yeah, let's get right into it. I actually ended up asking ChatGPT a question recently, and I said, what are some questions that young adults in this generation, Gen Z, want answers to? And it gave me a good list, and I thought that I would just maybe read a couple of these and just give my honest thoughts as I play this awesome game. So one of the questions was, how do I figure out what I actually want to do with my life? And this one really resonated with me. This is a question that I have lost sleep over for years. I think this is something that a lot of people in our generation just kind of struggle with, and my perspective on it is that an Enderman? Ooh, yes, we need Ender Pearls for the dragon fight. Get over here. My perspective on that, geez, let's go 4 pearls from that guy. I got looting 3 on this sword. Pretty goated. Anyways, back to the question, how do I figure out what I want to do with my life, essentially? My perspective on this is, number one, what makes you happy? And I don't think everyone is gonna get the job that makes them happy. But I do think that you can find a job in a field that you at least find compelling. I think everyone can find a job that they care about. If you've read the book, what's it called? So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. I'll link it in the bio. It's a great book. And the author, Cal Newport, basically studied passion. And he talked about how, I think he's a millennial, so he was talking about millennials, but it applies to Gen Z as well, is how an entire generation was sold a lie about work. Because a lot of us have been told that we need to go do something we're passionate about. But the secret to passion, as you discover in the book, and I won't get too much into it because it's a really good read and you should read it, is that passion is developed over time within a career. Some people start jobs that they hate, and over time they grow to love the field. Maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome, and maybe it really is passion. I don't know. But what I do know is what's true in my own life. I'm a pretty creative person. I think Minecraft is a game that brings out that creativity, for example. But I am a videographer and a musician. So my 9-to-5 job, I'm a videographer and I edit videos for my church. And then I'm also a musician where I play music on the weekends for my church. And I need bones. That's what I'm doing. These two careers, or these two things that I do, it took me a while to get to the point where I could make money doing these. I had to go through a lot of work, and I had to work a few odd jobs in between. And thankfully, it wasn't too long until I was able to do some things I love for a living. one part of my story is that I haven't always wanted to be a videographer. Um, I've wanted to be a musician for a longer time, and like full time. I thought I wanted to tour and move to Nashville and do the thing. And part of me honestly did want that for a long time, but I finally sat down with a mentor who had done the thing, and he was a really good bass player, and he's still a mentor to this day. But he asked me, "Are you willing to move to LA or Nashville?" And I thought about it for a while, and I said no. And that really, uh, that really shook me because I thought I wanted this thing for the longest time, and while I did want it, I didn't realize what it would cost me. And if you aren't willing to pay the costs of the road you're going to walk down in life with your career, uh, then don't do it. It's as simple as that. So, you know, realizing that you are going to get some existential dread and you're going to realize, man, like, well, why did I think I wanted this thing for the longest time? And eventually you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure out what you really do want. And I figured out for me that uh, before I wanted to go chase dreams and, build something big by being a touring musician or a studio musician or doing whatever, I figured out I valued stability more than I valued following this music dream. And music's still a part of my life, and I'm very fulfilled in the capacity that I get to do it because it gets to stay a okay, get out of here, man. Music for me is a hobby and a side hustle, and I get to stay passionate about that because I don't have to use it to pay the bills. I guess my point is figure out what you're willing to sacrifice for your career because if the price is too high, then that's okay, but you need to figure out what your game plan is for moving on. For me, that looked like figuring out, okay, I care about stability and I also care about doing creative work for a living. So what's a more realistic goal for me in the next few years? Because I was in college and I hated it and I dropped out to pursue video and it landed me a job and I'm really grateful for it. So yeah, figure out what the life you want requires, and if you're not willing to pay it, then pivot into something that makes you just as happy because you won't regret it. You won't regret figuring out what you really want. And if you don't know what you want, that's okay. You got time to figure that out. Another good question that ChatGPT came up with that you might have is, how do I build wealth when housing, education, and everything else is so expensive? This is a tough one. I'm trying to think of how I'm doing it. The dirty secret to this, I think, I live with my parents. They don't charge me rent. I do pay some of my own bills, but they help me out with a lot. And I'm not ashamed to say that because a lot of people don't have that opportunity. And with the economy being as hard as it is right now, you got to take the blessings you're given. So over the past 2.5 years, I've lived with my parents my whole life, but I have taken my financial well-being more seriously, and what that's looked like has been me saving more, not just living super frugally and not going out with friends and being a hermit, but I have chosen to actually look at my spending and set a target of, okay, my spending for gas, food, all of it on my credit card. I put everything on my credit card, and I do pay it off in full every month, is $500-600 tops. And for me, that's a good guideline. But that combined with living with my parents has helped me to save close to $40,000 over the last 2.5 years. Now, unfortunately, some things have come up that have taken away about half of that, but right now I still have like 25,000 for a sizable down payment for a house at some point. Or I've been thinking of moving out maybe, so could just go towards that. But yeah, I don't know. I would say live with your parents as long as you can and just be mindful of where your spending is going if you aren't taking a close look at that. Let's do one more question. Let me look at the list. This is a good one. Another one of the questions is everyone secretly this lonely, or is it just me? Man, that is a pretty deep question to be asking. I think, you look at social media and everywhere you see male loneliness epidemic and the loneliest generation and lonely and lonely and lonely and lonely. I'm not gonna say that our generation isn't lonely. We live in one of the most hyper individualized times that has ever existed. I mean, the internet has broken up pop culture into micro niche after micro niche, and everybody's kind of in their own camp, and it can be really hard when you're so entrenched in certain camps to feel like there's other people out there like you. And after enough time of not having your people and not, I guess, being lonely, of not meeting people and not having friends, I think a lot of people get jaded to the idea of friends in the first place, and they kind of shut off from the world. So, all that to say, I think there's a few ways you can meet people. Uh, I'm super blessed with an awesome friend group. I've like two different groups of friends. Some through that kind of I do music with, and then others that I know from high school. Uh, but the common denominator with all of those groups is I went to church with all of them. And I'm not going to tell you to go to church if you're not religious, even though I think, I'm a Christian and I have certain viewpoints on the world. What I am going to tell you is go get involved with something, even if you feel like, uh, even if you're doing it for the wrong reasons. When I started playing music, I didn't do it to meet people. I didn't do it to uh, find a community or friends or anything like that. I just loved music, but that was enough to get me to go out and to join the worship team at my church and to just kind of put myself out there. And if you're not passionate about something, or if the things you are passionate about is just like scrolling reels all day, which isn't even bad, like, well, no, it is bad. I take that back. But if that's the only thing you're passionate about, you gotta have a little bit more to your life and to your character. And it's okay if you don't know what that thing is, but I would encourage you to get passionate about something or to try new things and just put yourself out there in a group setting. It could be a run club. It could be, I don't know, maybe even like online if you need more online friends. Or I know that there's certain apps and like subreddits you can go on to find local meetups in your city for certain things. At the end of the day, you can find someone that's at least cares about something that you care about in your city. I guarantee it. And at the end of the day, well, I'll just say this. going back to what I said at the beginning is I think people get jaded when they don't have friends for a long time, or when their current friends are not talking to them as much. I've been there. But you just need to realize that this self-pitying mindset is only going to make you more miserable. And the best way out of it is to be that friend that you want to have. It's to be more intentional. It's to talk less about yourself and ask more questions whenever you're hanging out with someone. Just to not self-pity yourself all the time. People don't want to be around a miserable person. And I've seen enough people without friends that have dug themselves in this hole so far that they can't even get out, because when they do hang out with people, they're not even pleasant to be around. And I know it sounds harsh, but it's true. These are my thoughts. These are ChatGPT's questions for Gen Z. So if those resonated with you, let me know in the comments. If you have any thoughts on my thoughts, let me know about that too. If you disagree, that's okay. I would love to hear your perspective. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'll see you later. Bye.